your boy, Check It and check it out, because so much for the music causing all the fuckery in Chirac. Now, here's the thing, because the mayor of Chirac said, listen, you know what's really influencing and causing a lot of the violence? It's the music. It's people making songs like Drill Tom, Bitches Love Sosa. It's people like Chief Keef, and that's the reason we don't want him to perform here, okay? Now, I looked at it and I'm like, listen, man, the music serves as a backdrop. I don't think there's enough sound click beats for people to be making diss songs and for the bodies that be dropping these days. Now, also, Lil Durk, he jumped out, he said, yo, listen, man, I ain't gonna lie. War in Chirac, listen, the crime is going down. He said that earlier this year. Now, listen, man, and obviously Lil Durk, he knows nothing about stats, because actually this last weekend, right, is the second most deadliest weekend in Chicago this year. Now, by the way, and somebody got to bring this up to Lil Durk, and to everybody who says Chirac ain't bad, you just think it's bad because you not here. Listen, ask this question, right? From January 1st, and by the way, 2014, a lot of people acknowledge Chirac was pretty bad, right? Now, in 2015, they have stepped it up another motherfucking... Yo, the Savages are playing on all Madden mode. They were playing on Rookie last year, but this year it's all Madden. Because compared last year to this year, on this very day, right? Compare the same period of time. Guess how much more murders happened this year as opposed to last year? Yo, it's 54 murders ahead. That's a motherfucking blowout. Think about it, right? 331 this year compared to 277 last year. Now, this last weekend saw 8 people get killed, 45 get wounded, which other than the All-Star game, which we all know is Independence Weekend, this is the highest total all year. Now, the youngest who died is a 14-year-old boy. And a lot of people, man, let me tell you this, man. This is the sad thing about it, right? Because not everybody you hear getting killed, because it's easy to just kind of chalk it up and just kind of like disregard everything going on there, because you could be like, yo, it's a bunch of gangbangers, so if they die, it's whatever, right? But you get to realize that most of the people are dying, they're not gang members, they're innocent, they're kids. Okay, you get to realize that this one kid, he had no gang affiliation. In fact, he wanted to go out to play basketball because he was a basketball player at his school. He was pretty good from what I'm hearing. And he begged his mom to go out. His mom said, no. The Savages are having a shootout. You can't go out. He kept begging. And his mom finally caved in. And think about you as a little child. We all had that moment where you begged your mom to do something. She said, no. Till you nagged her enough and she said yes. Now, when his mom let him out, right? He went out to play basketball. An hour later, he was dead, shot in the goddamn head. Now, I got to tell you this, because a lot of people sometimes say, hey, so why are we talking about it, right? Because if we don't focus on this stuff, and you got to think about it, the people who are doing this are people of color. Okay, the kid that died is black, and the people who shot him are black, all right? We don't really got to guess. It's niggas, okay? If we don't talk about it, who's going to talk about it? You think the rich white people who live in Chicago, you think they give two fucks? I mean, yes, it affects somewhat like some businesses and like property value, but still, do you think they're really seeing the violence? You think that the people who live in the great areas of Chicago, they're affected by all this? And that's the reason why I have to distinguish between Chirac and Chicago. The people who live in Chicago, it's a completely different land. You're living good, okay? You live in Chirac, you better have a bulletproof vest and a goddamn helmet, and you better have a Glock your goddamn self, okay? Now, as I said, who's gonna care about a bunch of niggas killing themselves, claiming they're savages and that they're with the shits, okay? If they don't care about themselves, and we all see that black people nowadays, they love to ignore, right? If you call it out, they say, listen, you cooning. It's crazy. And by the way, that's an incorrect use of the word. That's why I corrected it to make sure the word coon applies to the right people, okay? The word coon doesn't stand for someone who you consider, quote unquote, Uncle Tom. The word coon stands for somebody who's perpetuating a negative stereotype about a particular race of people. And if you could see in this situation, the people who are killing each other, selling drugs, and shooting people over goddamn 3-letter kill scripts, you could tell those are the goddamn coons, okay? Now, bunch of bullets are, like, we can't even go through it one by one. There's a bunch of bullets were fired, okay? Niggas just getting shot left and right, okay? Most of the shots were fired in the region kind of near the University of Chicago and even near the president's house, President Obama, right? As I said, a kid got gunned down. He was the youngest. And a lot more other people got gunned down. 27-year-old, 34-year-old, 31-year-old, 18-year-old. Jesus Christ. It's sickening, right? Now, here's the thing. Of course, they keep saying the same things like, hey, listen, we're going to get tougher on crime, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to change, right? And then, if you guys don't follow the politics of the situation, because if you never watch The Wire, you always got to watch that crime. It doesn't only start from niggas banging in the streets. Of course, that's probably one of the main reasons, but still, crime could be quelled a little bit if you get the right amount of police, right? You get the right amount of law enforcement in those neighborhoods. You could quell it to some extent. Now, the mayor is talking about cutting police. The mayor says unless he raises property taxes, he will have to cut police, okay? Now, the people in Chirac, and this is how ignorant people are. Some are going to be like, we need less cops. Fuck cops. Fuck 12, okay? Well, when 48 people are getting shot, when 8 people are dying in a weekend, you guys tell me, do they need more cops or do they need less? Get a Akademiks, man. Listen, it's not much to say, man. It's disgusting. The fact is, and the fact I hate the most about is that people, and by the way, let me just put it out there. Listen, I live very, very fine, okay? There's nothing, I don't live in areas where niggas are shooting, right? But I'm concerned about the people who I consider, and they do look like me, and to be honest, all these people should not be doing this, and to keep it real, it gives me a bad rep, okay? Because I don't do bullshit like this, okay? But when you see someone concerned for what's going on, right? You see other people show blatant disregard and basically say if we focus on it, the person focusing on it is a problem. You see the poisonous mindset that really exists within the set of people that either ignore it, and I'm telling you, the people who ignore it are almost as bad as the people doing it. Get in the comment box, make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe, man. I'm out.